All right, well, we do have quorum, so I'm going to begin this meeting. I will call this meeting to order at 6:31. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. We're coming to you from the district office at 131 Livingston Street. This is a official business meeting, first business meeting of the 2024 year. So I ask you all to please sign the attendance sheet if you haven't already. I am going to, for those of you attending remotely, I'm going to put a link in the chat to sign in. And before I have our temporary secretary call the roll, I am going to ask the interpreters to introduce themselves. If you want to just come up to the mic and introduce yourself. It's right over here. Huh?
Are we doing something for everyone, or just mention that there's a Spanish interpreter? As we have the service just for...
You have the service just for the people in the room. Okay, well, announce yourself to the people in the room.
Okay. In case you need Spanish, en caso que necesiten interpretación en español, el equipo está acá. También hay en Mandarin?
Yeah, Mandarin.
And,
Yeah, well, yeah, you'll individually introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. We are the Mandarin interpreters, Siu Tong and Easy. 如果你们谁需要国语翻译的话，可以找人拿机器做听翻译。Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we do not have Bangla tonight, correct? Okay. All right, and I'm going to turn it to Lauren Barkin, who is going to read the roll call.
Antonia Ferrara.
Yes, I'm here.
Leslie King. Here. Vanessa Gonzalez Vieca.
She's absent tonight.
Nancy Cruz.
I believe she's absent as well.
Imelda Chumney. Nancy Randall.
I believe she's absent.
Hans Arietta.
Yeah.
Lauren Barkin. That's me. Mamoon Rashid.
I'm uncertain about Mamoon. I'll leave it blank until later.
Danley Goodall. Jonathan Davis.
Here.
Yoon Lee.
No. Okay, so we do have quorum. And I will turn it over to Jonathan to read the parliamentary protocols, and I don't think that's going to reach too far, but we'll do the best we can.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Tonight's business meeting is in person and will include a public comment period. We will take both remote and in-person comments to gather additional feedback from our families and school community members. You may leave your camera on, or for your own privacy, if you prefer, you may use audio only during the comment period and throughout the meeting. Rules of engagement. When you comment, please respect the privacy of others. Please do not include names of children or staff. Guests who make inappropriate comments will be removed from the meeting. During the public comment period, those attending virtually may raise their hand to comment or indicate in the chat that they would like to speak. Those called upon will be unmuted. If you are attending in person, you must sign the guest attendance sheet and indicate whether you would like to comment. Speakers will be called on one at a time and will be allowed 1 minute each for comment. We will hear as many speakers as the time allows. It is possible that not every comment or question will be given time, so the best way to get your question answered is to write to the CEC at CEC 15 at schools.nyc.gov. CEC members will also be given a comment period. Members will be called upon and are each permitted 1 2-minute comment question. If members do not have any comment, they may cede their time to the chair.
Okay, great, thank you. If you wouldn't mind just passing the mic back down this way. We have some minutes somewhere from October. If you all wouldn't mind just taking a second to look over those minutes and let me know if you have any questions or concerns about them. All right, if there are no questions, I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes. Does anybody second? Okay, so you'll put in the motion to adopt minutes. Me and Jonathan seconded that motion. Are there any objections to adopting these minutes? So then the minutes have been adopted without objection. Okay. All right, so it's been a long time since I've seen you all. Happy New Year. I really want to thank the Legislative Breakfast team. Leslie really stepped up. I had a horrible illness known as ocular shingles, and we managed to have a wonderful event with 80 plus people. And I was not there. And Shanice, where is Shanice? Shanice, our AA, really stepped up. Jonathan, he helped out. Hans helped out. And come on in, Lincoln. You know what? I'm just going to finish up my thought about what I was going to say, and then I'll let you have the floor because I know that you're on a time crunch. So Roxanne, the PTA President's Council president, and Leslie really stepped in and rescued the day for me. And I'm just so grateful to the staff at Borough Hall and my CEC members for supporting me, and to all the electeds who showed up, and to all of the PTA parents and other parents who spoke, and of course our AA, Shanice, without whom we just could not even possibly have that event. So thank you so much for doing that with me. And we have an esteemed elected official here tonight, Lincoln Ressler, and I'm going to give my seat to him for a minute. Well, you should be on screen. You should be on screen. Here in the hot seat. It should not, this is not muted. I believe it's live.
Wonderful. Well, good evening. I want to echo our esteemed president's sentiments that CEC 15 organizes the best legislative breakfast of any CEC in New York City. And I was sorry I didn't get a chance to stick around to say hello, but I was there for quite some time and loved the presentations and the thoughtful insights that were offered by members of the District 15 community and as well as many of our legislators from across the city. I wanted to just take a moment to discuss the recent incidents at PS 261 that I know have been top of mind for many across District 15. And I'll say as a Jewish person, I felt shaken after the attacks on October 7th. And I think many people in the Jewish community and the Israeli community and diaspora, have really felt a tremendous amount of trauma over these few months. And as well, with the ensuing violence in Gaza, we've seen a horrible rise in Islamophobia. These have been incredibly fraught times. And I am sensitive in these matters that there's a difference between intent and impact. And I want to be mindful that many people saw a story in the Post or the Free Press and a map on a wall and interpreted it very differently. But what I can say as somebody who's had the privilege of working closely with the principal, Erica Davis, and many parents across the PS 261 community is that this is not a good school, this is a great school. And it is a really wonderful community, an inclusive community, a welcoming community. And the Arabic arts and culture program, the language program there has been in place for a dozen years. And, as somebody who grew up just a few blocks from PS 261, it's a very meaningful program because we have long, for over 100 years, had a major Arab American community based in the Atlantic Avenue area in Boerum Hill and Cobble Hill. The population of that community has unfortunately gone down more in recent years, but we all know and love the businesses that continue to thrive. And I love that we celebrate the diversity of our community at PS 261. The maps are among the most political things. We don't often think of them that way. I don't believe there was any intent to exclude or erase in this map. It was a map of Arabic speaking countries. I know that there's sensitivity even there, that one of Israel's official languages is Arabic. But what I can say is that I have spoken to many parents who have been through this program, who love this program, who value the work of the teacher, Miss Rita, and I really value this program. And I have had the privilege of speaking to many parents, of course, every day, to Erica Davis, spoken to Raphael, our superintendent, and to the chancellor, first deputy chancellor, and many other leaders across Tweed to underscore how much I value this program. And I am disappointed that an issue such as this one wasn't addressed internally constructively, but rather through tabloid coverage that can really put people in harm's way. That I know that we've had, that Rita has been doxxed and has been in a dangerous and threatened position. But frankly, the whole school community was in a dangerous position as a result of the way this was handled. And, moving forward, I'm really pleased that Superintendent Alvarez and Principal Davis have brought the New York Peace Institute in to help with mediation and make sure that there are constructive and inclusive conversations to address issues that folks are feeling, to repair the damage of this past week. And I'm also pleased there have been conversations with the Simon Wiesenthal Center to make sure that there's more education around anti-Semitism and anti-hate in the school as well. That is welcomed. But I really do believe that this is a situation that has been unfairly misrepresented. And if you know the PS261 community like I do, I really believe that everybody had the right intentions here. And the map has now come down, and we can, I think, focus on how do we repair and heal the kind of wounds that this community is facing. And I just want to say that working with the leadership at DOE, I'm committed, and of course the school community, I'm committed to doing that in every way that I can. And I appreciate, as always, how thoughtful and forward-thinking CEC 15 has been. And if there's anything that we can do together to support this school through a challenging moment, as Erica said to me today, we're going to come out stronger on the other end. And I really believe that, and I know she does too. And so I just want to express my gratitude to everyone who is working toward that endpoint. So thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Really appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for coming. I know there are families here from PS261. Typically in a business meeting, we don't have sort of a open mic kind of public comment period. And our superintendent is not here to answer your questions either. So I do not really feel comfortable. I think it would be unsatisfying to give you the floor. It's also not, it's just not part of this type of format. And I want to encourage you to attend the calendar meeting on the last Tuesday of the month, because the superintendent will be here to address the issue and update you on the steps that the school has taken to heal the issue and educate and inform and enrich, because that's what this program is. It's enrichment. So I am so grateful that you came out tonight in this snow to come, and I hope you will come back to get answers to your questions again. So I think we need to move on with business. I will just say that I do have to say one thing in relation to this, that if there was any confusion about remarks in the press made by CEC 15 members, those were not remarks that were reflective of the entire CEC body. They are just reflective of that one member, and they do not reflect official CEC decisions or other members' viewpoints necessarily. So I need to put that out there. Otherwise, we will move on. So I attended a split siting hearing for PS 321 on January 4th, and I spoke in support of that split siting, which will move grades K and 1 to a new building that is leased from the Catholic Church by SCA on President Street. This building is known as K347. And Principal Phillips, various teachers, PTA, SLT members all spoke. They spoke about the poor conditions in the TCUs, which are the temporary trailers. Those buildings are well past their lifespan. They were never meant to be used in any permanent sense, but they have 13 classrooms. And they have heating and cooling and water infiltration issues. So all those issues came to a head during Storm Ophelia. The school is over capacity at 1,240 students. And so this new site will leave 800 students in grades 800 students in grades 2 through 5 in the current 321 building, and then 450 at the new President Street site. The parent community was largely in support of this split siting. And so this will be, the PEP will meet to vote on this proposal in February. I will put some information in the chat if anybody wants to add comments. Any comments? I believe, oh boy, this might be too much information to put in the chat. Let's see if I reduce that down. It seems like they will include comments received at least 24 hours in advance of the PEP meeting in which these proposals are subject to a vote will be included in the public comment analysis. So comment away. We held New York City mayoral control meetings on January 11th. And I was not there, but I did view them, and we had a strong showing, and one of the best showings in the city. And you can, and I encourage you to, submit your testimony by January 31st. And I will put a link for people in the chat so that they can submit testimony. I also want to highlight the fact that last Tuesday, the 60-day notices for migrant families expired. And so families with children had to begin reapplying for temporary housing. This affects people in our community. And this is a really hard time for people. The weather is terrible and they have been scattered throughout the city. I don't know to what extent they are returning to our schools. I don't have any data on that. So this is just a lingering problem, and I will just place I will place an article in the chat about that if people want to read up on it. Why is this happening? Okay. So at this point, I know that we have some members who have to leave early. I want to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters of CEC member protocols. I am going to ask that we, I will ask for a vote. I will ask for a second.
Second.
Leslie seconds the motion, and now you can call the roll.
Antonia.
Yeah,
Ferrara.
I vote yes to go into
Leslie
executive
King.
session.
Yes. Donaldo Chumney.
Yes.
Hans Arietta.
Yes.
Lauren Barkin. Yes. Dan Vidal.
Yes.
Jonathan Davis.
Yes.
Okay, so what this means for the members of the public, we are going to leave this room. And I am going to have to mute this device. We are going to go down the hall to a separate room. And executive sessions are intended to discuss private matters of the council. We will come out of the executive session and give a brief summary of what has been discussed, and then we will move on with official public business. I'm sorry that this executive session has to happen in the middle of a meeting, but we have a member who has to leave early, and so we have to do it now. So thank you for understanding. I am going to now record. So we have, it is 7:12. So Secretary, would you please record that we have come out of executive session at 7:12. And we have resolved to, well, no, not resolved. We didn't resolve. We just reiterated for CEC members that when they speak to the press, they must be careful to separate themselves from the CEC as a body and avoid using their title as a CEC member. And as a courtesy to the CEC, we ask that members please notify the president and the communications chair that they will be in the press, which paper and or website, and what topic they're going to speak on. So we will notify the rest. I'll notify the rest of the members that this is just a protocol that we are going to attempt to adhere to from going forth. All right. All right. Thank you all for joining me in that executive session. These conversations are very difficult, so I appreciate you all in that conversation. And can I turn it over to you, Donalda, for a budget allocation?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Everyone have to move down a little to reach.
I'm gonna move my whole computer down there, and
You plugged in.
no, I'll move the whole computer down here. I don't need to be plugged in the whole time, but I need to be plugged in for a little bit. And then,
People who are present in the meeting, the budget proposed additions that we're looking at are on the second page of this white piece of paper. There are some colors on the paper, blue and green. If you all recall from the last meeting in December, Antonia shared with us that we were having $10,000 of budget funds returned for the AA salary supplement that we previously had planned to allocate to that line. So we essentially have $10,000 to repurpose into a new version of our budget, and presumably to vote on and accept these proposed changes, or to have some discussion about what they could look like if this is not what people are on board with. Consulting with, I believe, Leslie and Antonia last meeting, and then with Shanice earlier this month, we talked about what could, like the way that the 10,000 could be broke out. And so that's in the proposed column, and I can talk a little bit about why each budget item for that on the left was increased. First, for member reimbursements and meeting expenses, the total amount that we would set aside based on the $150 per month per member and then $200 per president would be $14,500. And previously we had $7,500 allocated to it. But adding $2,250 puts us a little bit closer to having the funds to cover. And one of the last 2 budget years, the CEC spent around $10,000 for member reimbursement. So it is possible if people do submit their reimbursements that it gets to that place. It has not happened this year so far at all, but that's something that we can further encourage in meetings going forward, if you all are so inclined. So that's a $2,250 adjustment. For the P card, we added $500. For the technology budget, there's a $2,000 increase. The reason for that is because there was some discussion amongst members about buying the interpretation headsets. We could get a kit of about 50 of them plus 5 interpreter pieces for about $3,500, give or take. And of course, we would want to consult with Mr. Williams from the language access unit to make sure that that's the right purchase, but it's around $3,500 for a set that we could get. And that budget line would cover that if we were to choose to invest in that priority. Are there any questions so far? Okay, cool. The next is increasing the administrative assistant travel expense. Shanice goes a lot of places and brings a lot of things with her, and we want to make sure that her travel is accounted for. Then there was a suggestion, I think from Vanessa, that we have parent workshops and activities similar to the last couple of years, and student activities. And last year, this was how they were broken out: student presentations and activities and parent workshops and activities. And I just split them 50-50, but if people wanted them to be different, then please say so. But that's the total that ended up being the $10,000 that we got as a refund from the DOE. So I open the floor to discussion about that.
My only question looks great to me. What are examples? I don't know if you know this. Maybe it's more a question for people who were on the council before, but of what types of parent workshops or student presentations or activities that have been done before, and what costs have kind of come with those?
So Camille really dove into this, and they are expensive. To get somebody to run one can be like $1,000. Hers ran the gamut. I mean, she even did like a sewing and cooking thing on Zoom because it was during, COVID. In order to really properly execute on that, I feel like we need a separate committee that would be devoted to doing those. What are some, I'm trying to think what some of the adult workshops.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Antonia. I just wanted to jog your memory. Last year's budget has a couple of professional development and community vendors that are named within them, and we can bring that back for the group's consideration if they were good, or if they were helpful, or they meet the goals or whatever.
Right.
But they're named there.
Yeah.
In the budget, and they're linked. So Jonathan, the budget line for the student presentations was professional services, and the one for parent workshops and activities was I would need to look, but it was like the budget code where the vision comes from within, and we kind of like provide food and other materials and execute, whereas the one with kids was facilitated by outside providers.
Got it. That makes sense.
Anybody else? Any other thoughts about it? My only thought is that we may need more in technology if we wanted to buy one of those owls. And I don't know if we can buy the owl off the DOE, that.
Shop Dewey portal.
Shop DOE, because I know some councils, they received these owls as a gift from their borough president. Which is really nice, so they didn't have to deal with this. I don't know if Shop DOE even sells the owl, but it makes virtual meetings a lot better
I'm assuming it's not the bird, right? But what's an owl?
I don't know
I
the
don't-
bird.
No. What's an owl?
Oh,
I was
okay.
talking about like an owl, the bird.
It's this
Bad
device
joke.
that it's a long thing that sits on the table and it sort of turns and picks up the voices and the images in the room, and so we
Got
don't
it.
have to have this awkward situation where we're moving around the microphone and we've got the iPad over back there is our camera. It's designed for virtual hybrid conferences.
Got it.
I don't know how it would work in an auditorium. That's an open question. I don't know how well it would work. It's also, I think it's $2,000 or $3,000. So, I don't know, maybe we just go with these numbers. We do some more research on the owl, and then maybe we revisit the budget, because I believe we have up till February, Shanice? March? Something, okay, March
Yeah.
something,
I don't know
okay.
the exact.
So we can approve this
We can
and then
approve
revisit.
this and then revisit it. Shanice, how do you feel about these numbers, particularly, the meeting expenses, the P card,
Yeah.
the travel? You're good with this?
Yeah, they sound.
You don't think we need more member reimbursements than that? No, okay, all right,
If,
so.
Antonia,
yes.
if we get to a certain point in the budget year and we haven't had the member reimbursement traffic that we typically would, we can shift the member reimbursement money to buy the owl.
If it's before March
8th.
Okay.
But we should have a sense of what's been spent up to that point and what.
Yeah, but
What's in-
people can always sort of come in at the 7th hour with those reimbursements in June,
Got it.
which is sort of a tricky thing. Unless we had a conversation in the council that was like,
Right.
yeah, I'm not going to make use of it, feel free to move that money over. So, all right, so we don't have like the official formatted resolution, but I think that we can vote on allocating, we might have to write this. Allocating the $10,000, and I'll read it out loud. Member reimbursements and meeting expenses, you have it in front of you, I'm gonna read it, okay. $9,750. P card, $5,000. Technology, $3,500. Travel expenses, $500. Parent workshops and activities, $2,500. Student presentations and activities, $2,500. And that equals $10,000. And I will just give our secretary a moment to catch up before we vote to approve that budget allocation. Okay, okay. Denalda, you wanna make a motion to?
Oh, yeah, sure. I motion to accept the proposed adjustments to the budget.
Second? We all second.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Antonia Burrow,
I vote yes.
Leslie King,
Yes.
Nalda Chumley,
Yes.
Tom Arietta,
Yes.
Tom Harkin, yes, Jeremy Goodall,
Yes.
Jonathan Davis.
Yes.
So, Shanice, you and I will reformat this into a resolution form and then we'll post it. Alright, thank you so much. Denalda, I know that you have to leave, so thank you for this.
Would you like me to submit the treasurer's report now?
Oh, okay, there's more report, okay.
Yeah, I put that proposed budget adjustment at the bottom of the January treasurer's report. Quite simply, our budget is increased to 25,000 that we can use directly. We know that. We currently have a balance of 22,926. There are expenses listed for December. Of course, our expenses for January anticipated a bit higher because of the breakfast, but other than that, we are really solid, and that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, I need to take that to my computer.
Yes, thank you. Oh, pizza.
Antonio,
Yes.
are you planning on voting on the hybrid meeting resolution in the next 20 minutes?
We could move that up. We could move that up.
It's next on the
It,
agenda.
okay.
I will, because it's a longer term win for everyone.
Yes.
So pass,
Okay.
I will stay for that.
Okay, okay,
I think
let's,
it enables everything.
right, okay, let's move on to that then. All right, so does everybody have access to that document? It should be in your folder if you don't have access digitally, which you should. Everybody should have digital access to the document. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. CEC 15, resolution on hybrid meetings. Whereas by passing chapter 56 of the laws, oh, you switched, you shared the screen, it's fine. The laws of 2022, the New York State Legislature amended section 103 of the open meetings. How do I move this? Okay, open meetings law. And whereas chapter 56 adds section 103A of the open meetings law, permitting CEC 15 to authorize its members to attend meetings by video conferencing under extraordinary circumstances. And whereas section 103A to A requires CEC 15 to adopt a resolution following a public hearing authorizing the limited use of video conferencing under such circumstances. And whereas section 103A2 allows for hybrid meetings by requiring that a minimum number of members are present to fulfill the public body's quorum requirement in the same physical location or locations where the public can attend. Whereas section 103A2C requires that members be physically present at any such meeting unless such member is unable to be physically present at such a meeting location due to, yes,
You skipped a line.
I skipped.
Whereas a quorum of members must be present in person at the start of the meeting to vote to proceed as an active meeting.
So why, Are you looking at the same, are we all looking at the same
I
thing?
clicked on the link from.
You clicked on the link. Hold on.
wanna
So
make sure we don't-
Shanice, I don't know, you put something on the screen and now I can't unshare what you shared. Okay, oh, okay, so are you in the same document as? Yeah,
The one that's.
The-
on the agenda.
maybe because that wasn't an accepted edit, that was why her version on the screen did not include, but that doesn't make any sense. Let me share my screen.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yes, no, thank you, because that was an important thing. Okay, I'm going to start from the fourth whereas. Is that okay? Okay, so whereas section 103A2 allows for hybrid meetings by requiring that a minimum number of members are present to fulfill the public body's quorum requirement in the same physical location or locations where the public can attend. And now this, you will see it in, it appears in green on my screen. It may appear as a different color on your screen. This is something I added because I'm not comfortable that we're going to get quorum. And when Christine explained to me how quorum is met, it was much more specific than what this resolution describes. So I decided, let me add that to the resolution. But if you all do not agree, then we will take it out. Yeah.
So this statement, and for instance, Denolda has to leave for a legitimate reason halfway through the meeting, but she was here for quorum at the start of the meeting. If she goes home and joins via Zoom, would she then be able to continue with the meeting and be an active participant?
As soon as we lose quorum in the physical space, we lose the ability to vote.
That was my
So
question,
if she left and went home and we no longer had 7 members in the space, I believe, but you know, this is tricky stuff. So we should go back to this is actually, frankly,
What?
Pierre should be here. I don't know if Pierre is in the room. Our face.
So what was our discussion for getting that?
Hey, hold on.
exposure
I hear voices
in the US?
for some reason I'm hearing voices in the, why am I hearing voices from the peanut gallery? That should not be. Okay. Thank you for muting yourself. Is Pierre, our face, Raymond Pierre in the room? Because he would really be the one to answer that question, and he does not appear to be here. My reading of it is, as soon as you lose quorum in the space, you lose the ability to vote, and that person who left would not get the ability to vote once they got
But if
home.
we had 8 people.
If we had 8
If we had
people, it doesn't
plus
matter.
one,
As long as you have
right,
7
and that
in
person
the
who goes home and
room,
goes on Zoom,
they
then
could.
still vote.
They could. I think it just, it all hinges on the 7 people in the room,
Right.
from my
That's
reading.
I think that's an important point to clarify, because I know that.
Wait, so if you leave though, you cannot vote.
No, if
No,
we had-
if there's 7 people in the room, that's
Okay.
all that matters.
Okay.
So if we had an
okay.
8th person here.
If you had an
today,
8th person
Denolda
and
had
she
to go
left, then
home
she could
and
join.
Joins on Zoom, she did continue to vote because we still have quorum.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
How does the added
How does the added line
differ from the line above it?
Because it doesn't specify, the line I added specifies that at the start of the meeting, you have to vote to go into a hybrid session.
Got it.
And Christine Farrell explained to me that that is how you ensure a quorum
Because you have to vote.
because you have to vote to go into hybrid. So I'll read the line, you guys consider. Whereas a quorum of members must be present in person at the start of the meeting to vote to proceed as a hybrid meeting. Yes.
I would edit it because
Okay.
we have started some meetings without quorum, but then we get quorum within 20 minutes. So I would say
Present at the meeting, just at the
Must
meeting,
be present to vote to proceed.
must be present. Must be present in person to vote. Just simply, a quorum of members must be present in person to vote to proceed as a hybrid meeting. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, section 103A 2C requires that members be physically present at any such meeting unless such member is unable to be physically present at any such meeting location due to extraordinary circumstances, including disability, illness, caregiver responsibilities, or any other significant or unexpected factor or event which precludes the member's physical attendance at such meeting. And whereas in accordance with section 103A 2D, any members attending by video conference must, except during executive sessions, be heard, seen, and identified while the meeting is being conducted, including but not limited to any motions, proposals, resolutions, and any other matter formally discussed or voted upon. And whereas section 103A 2G requires that any meeting where a member attends by video conference be recorded, posted to the CEC 15 webpage within 5 business days, and transcribed upon request. That's another question, although I guess Zoom offers some really weird transcription thing that's pretty like unintelligible.
it's workable.
It's workable.
I mean, I use their transcription.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's
Where
not perfect.
it's not perfect, okay. Whereas section 103A 2H requires that members of the public be permitted to attend and participate if authorized in any meeting by video conference. When a member attends by video conference, okay, be it resolved that CEC 15 authorizes its members who experience an extraordinary circumstance as described above and further defined by any rules or written procedures later adopted to attend meetings by video conference, as long as a quorum of the members attend in person at one or more locations open to the public, as long as the member can be seen, heard, and identified while the open portion of the meeting is being conducted, and 3 is otherwise permitted under Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022, and be it further resolved that CEC 15 shall create written procedures further governing its use of video conferencing by its members in compliance with Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022. And so that last resolved is just the process by which you have to add to your bylaws how your hybrid meetings are conducted. So I am going to open the floor to, well, I'm going to turn it over to my parliamentarian. That's what I'm going to do.
Sounds great. So we will now open it up for public comment. Can people hear me?
Okay, no.
That should be close enough.
I should
So we'll
probably
open
just
this up to public
move right there.
comment. We will start with those who are on Zoom with us. If anybody has a comment or question.
I got a question.
Yes, sorry, I saw clapping hands. I wasn't sure if you were just applauding or not. Yeah, go ahead.
This is my first time. Hi, I'm Reggie Sweeney. I was listening to PS 261, but I'm not going to bring that up too much. But what I want to tell you guys, kind of odd that the first meeting I get on with you guys is a little small controversy, the same when I first got on at the PTA. MS 443. I think certain situations in your district, I'm a black man, and I think that you guys need to start really, I was listening to your budget allocation for certain activities. I think my district is 13, but my kid lives in your area. They had these racial town halls, and there was a Juneteenth event. You guys were not involved. I know the principals of principals showed up. When I walk through your district, I don't feel comfortable. There's not a large, predominantly black makeup in your area. So the people that live in your area, and you're gonna have to start dealing with certain things coming down the pipe because you got an election coming up, you got all of this going on, you got this war going on. But they don't, like it's Martin Luther King month or whatever. What does your district do to bring people together? This is not to blast you or whatever, because my kid is moving on. I don't even know if you got high schools in your district, so hopefully not. I just know that you guys got a problem over there. You got to figure out the racial inclusion. You got Bangladesh. I was born in Coney Island, so I got the best of both worlds of being in the city. Something happened to me today. I went in a store, it was a Japanese store. I thought it was sushi. They treated me like shit. Excuse my expression. So if you don't get involved with these town hall racial inclusions or whatever and bring all of your folks together, because I walked your district, I was called it, and it don't bother me. I'm a tough guy. But I just think hearing what happened at that school, I didn't hear it because I'm so sick and tired of following stuff in New York. But there is a war going on. There is different leaders speaking. We got to figure out how we're going to mold our children to be inclusive. And when you go to District 15, you may walk through Park Slope. I could be at Sunset Park. I'm seeing all of you guys over there. And I'm just like a diamond in the rough walking around. And I don't like the attitudes. I don't like the behavior. My son's in a school. I got my reservations. And I was at your Borough Hall meeting while you were getting heckled from the outside with bullhorns. And I'm a podcaster, so I podcast that. We got censored because there was information. But I think the way society is shaping up with the migrants, and the mayor's got this podcast called Get Stuff Done, if anybody want to listen to what he's talking about. But all in all, you got to figure out something. My district, we got Bangladesh, white, Ivy League, bushy blacks, and the white, everybody. But somehow, in some way, the children find a way to do their thing. I got a park right across the street. So we have all of these multicultures and all of this stuff. No one likes anybody in New York. I mean, if you look at the news, you see blacks shooting this, and then you don't like niggas, and I can say it, not you. But today was a crazy day. And I try to not get too much into 15's politics. It's unique. Follow the protocol. You don't have 7 people, you can't vote. Yeah, I'm just being annoying. And just figure out something, because I know for a fact, we had Martin Luther King, nothing from your school. As far as I stand to be corrected, but you cannot celebrate Chinese New Year's on Martin Luther King's that thing. So you're not really including them, growing them up. Some of you guys got lawyer families, y'all got it. I see how it works. Let your budgets be known too. But I was going to get on that PTA, but the first thing, they were trying to get rid of the principal, my first involvement with 15. Then I happened to run into you guys at that Borough Hall. They did a good job, ma'am. If you were asking, the food was great. The council person from that district did good. The controllers brought up something that I was surprised about. But try to reach out. Do some inclusion.
Thank you so much, Reginald. If I may just say, PS 261 always does a wonderful civil rights march on Martin Luther King Day. Unfortunately, they were not able to hold that march because they had some security threats. But I also want to say that I have communications with the president of CEC 13, and you have a great idea. I think CEC 13 and 15 should get together and host a joint district event on equity and inclusion and civil rights issues. I think that would be a wonderful idea, and thank you for bringing it to the council.
Let me just follow up one thing real quick. Nevertheless, I don't know what the schools do in your district, and even 13 is tough. You guys have a tough one. But the racial inclusion one that I was speaking about, they want to benchmark that date, your principals of all principals. So try to find out. We got pre-K. I think it's going to start from pre-K to 5th grade and all that, because once they get past it, get 13 and 14. But figure out something. I didn't want to filibuster your meeting, but it was my first time, so I'm adding all the days and times that I missed. But yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, write to us. Write to us.
Yeah, write to us, and I'd recommend.
I'm too busy. I'm not writing. I said it. I'm loving it. I'm not. You're not giving me any work. You're gonna reach out to the principal of 13 and whoever, and they had a racial town hall, and then they had a Juneteenth event. We had 15,000 people. So it's up to you guys, but I need to make some money. I'm this tough, but nevertheless, no, because I quietly listen, and I'm like, here we go again, and it's tough. You got a tough job, but this is the future. The migrants are here. We got them in our district. You got a lot of work, and the Spanish and the Ecuadorians. You should see how they treat us. And I know my community has problems. The blacks. We already call them out too. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
Stay well.
Thank
you.
Are there any other comments or questions about the resolution on the hybrid meeting from those on Zoom? Okay. Anybody in person? Comments or questions? Okay, I think move to CEC comments.
Yeah.
And I will just go around the table if that is okay. Donalda? Stanley? Hans? Lauren? Leslie?
No.
Antonia?
I just want to know how you guys feel about the clause I added. Are you okay with that? Because I have had trepidation about adopting a hybrid meeting resolution since this whole thing came about. Obviously, we have trouble as a council getting quorum to begin with. And that doesn't really change, even though we pass this resolution. We still have to get 7 people in a room.
Right.
So I just wanted to put that, I guess, safety check in there.
And do we need to vote on the addition?
We need to vote
on the whole resolution?
No. We just vote on the whole resolution.
Vanessa said she's in support of the clause added.
Okay, good. And then we need to go from there on the amendments to the bylaws, which
so we'll set a meeting for that afterwards.
Vanessa will hopefully do that.
So I move to vote on the resolution.
Okay, great.
Anybody second?
I second.
Yeah, okay, there you go. All right, Antonia Ferrer, yes, I vote yes.
Michael King.
I vote yes.
Knowledge Lundin, yes. Hans Marietta.
Yes.
Lauren Barkan, yes. Shelley Vidal. Yes. Jonathan Davis.
Yes.
All right,
Pass
we passed it. We passed a hybrid resolution.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you, sorry
Oh, my pleasure.
that,
Oh, no, she said totally cool.
sorry that took a bit.
I'm glad that we did it, and I appreciate your leadership.
Okay, wonderful. All right, now we need to move on to the SCA capital plan. Stuff. I think it's probably best if I just stay down here in case the microphone, all that stuff. Sorry, my back is to you all. So, I don't know. Okay, oh, great, she printed it out. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Denise. All right, so you all have this, this sheet in here. I want to direct everyone's attention, Shanice, you as well. If you turn to the other side, the back side, I had some late entries that didn't go out last week. I got them late. And I figured since we were going to resubmit this, I would just resubmit them anyway. So they're here, you can see it says late entries down there at the bottom, and those will have to be added.
Ask me specifically why I send my kids to private school.
Lainey, we can hear you. Mute your mic. I'm going to unshare this screen. This should not be sharing. Stop sharing. I guess we could share this on the screen. Okay. So that's one thing. The bigger issue is we want to rank our top 5, and we need to decide what those top 5 are. And we can't vote.
Yeah.
We can't vote. Shoot.
Unless we wait until Denali gets home when she logs.
No, because
No,
she can't
we still
vote.
don't- we
She
don't have
can't
set
vote
up.
from there.
Shoot.
Okay, so we could look this over and sort of come up with some top projects, and then we will propose them at the calendar meeting and vote at that point, because this is not gonna, at this point, it's not gonna go until the November amendment anyway. So let me do an official reading of what these projects are for the public. So at PS10, they are asking for a playground update. At MS51, they have asked for an electrical upgrade of the entire building. At 107, they're asking for a standalone building with gym, auditorium, rooftop, playground, and classrooms. I know that sounds crazy. Let me explain what is going on there. I will explain that. So, PS 107 is an extremely small, very old building, and it has no gym. They have an outdoor paved play space. And so every time the kids have to go to gym, they've had to go to the local Y. But the Y has major structural problems and the gym is sinking.
What?
Yes, half the gym in that building is sinking. So they've blocked off half the gym, and you can see the other side, the floor is caving in because it's an armory. It's a very, very old building.
You mean like where the track is in there?
I don't exactly know no, because it wouldn't be the track. It would be like where the gym is.
In that armory, it's like the gym is like there's a track and then there's the courts and everything.
I
Is that what
haven't
it is?
seen the space, but
Okay.
one side of the building is unstable. Yeah. Yeah. So the
Oh.
kids had to go to that building. They can't go there for gym anymore, and they're looking for another space. They may have some options, but they do have a big open flat cement surface. And so she did at one point explore the idea, but because it's a landmark building, a new addition cannot be connected to the building because it's landmarked, but a new building could be disconnected from the landmark building. Anyway, I know it's a major project, but it's kind of either that or find them more space somewhere, because there is no gym. Anyway, electrical upgrade for 107 as well. 107 needs to replace the entire wrought iron gate that surrounds the school, with one that has safety gates. You know what, I think I'm gonna have to go to the actual document because some of these entries are bigger than the boxes and I can't read them. So I'm gonna have to go to the document myself. Sorry. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, 124, exterior waterproofing with interior damage, leaking roof penetration near exit and water damage to the walls in the stairwell leading to the basement. That's your school, Hans. You have pictures. Hans has pictures, everybody. 130 lower school at 70 Ocean Parkway, 3rd and 5th floor bathrooms need many more stalls, reducing urinals, lower sinks, not enough toilets for the students. Also at 130 in the lower school, new fence outside that can be locked. 154 needs an elevator. 261, convert locker rooms to an OT room or a dance studio. I guess they don't really use the locker rooms and they're looking for another way to use that space. 295, air conditioning in the cafeteria. 295, more electrical outlets in classrooms and exterior outlet in the schoolyard. 295, Wi-Fi upgrade. 497, chemistry lab reno, sinks, cabinets, electrical outlets. This is the next one is the High School of Arts, which is High School 656, street lighting. Also at 656 is an ADA compliant entrance. Also at 656, a gym upgrade, floor with volleyball option with grommets. 656, auditorium upgrade, lighting, sound, amplifier, etc. 447, green space, rooftop area for science and recess. 447, ADA compliant entrance. 839, rooftop garden and hydroponics, originally part of the Borough President's office, but not completed. This is a District 75, K37, new boiler, temporary boiler located in the play area. Also at the children's school, upgrade and drainage areas in internal playground to support heavier flooding. Also at the children's school, stormophilia, interior flood damage with high mold concern, repair or replace floors that are cracked and buckling. There is water damage to the ceiling and areas around the windows. 24, okay, so now at this point in the list where it goes back to PS 24, That is the point at which Carmine Francesi said, all the rest of these are not really good for an SCA capital plan project, but better for Reso A or, maybe it's me. I'm gonna lower my phone. Maybe it's somebody else. Oh, it's Danley's device? Okay, she's gonna have to come back. Okay, so the next set of projects are repairs that are more appropriate for DSF.
What
or
is it, DSF?
Division of Schools Facilities, DSF or Reso A. So you can get a Reso A grant from the Borough President's Office or from City Council. A City Council member can give you a Reso A grant. So Carmine felt the next projects would be better for that, not SCA. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I wish there was some way to stop this echo. I don't want to touch her computer. I can't touch her computer. Okay, in PS 24, there's a drainage issue on the playground. Water pools when it rains and it spells, making it impossible for kids to play. There's a pool? Oh, okay.
They have just like, they have a big backyard. It's just like a little space they can use.
Oh.
At 24.
Yeah, yes. Sorry.
124 or 24?
124.
Oh, 120. No, this is 24. So PS 24 also wants an ADA compliant bathroom with stalls, sinks, and toilets. PS 24 wants a water fountain upgrade so water bottles can be filled. 24 wants a main entrance repair. It's uneven and it's causing accidents. It's an issue for small children and children with wheelchairs. 51 has an issue that's ongoing with its telephones and the building's not working. 51 needs AC in their common areas, the gym and the library. They also need AC in the guidance counselor's office and several classrooms. They need between 75 and 100 laptops. 676 needs, the bathroom near the gymnasium overflows with sewage and floods into the gymnasium.
Oh my.
This is our priority.
107 has to replace 3 broken ACs. They also need playground equipment. 130 at the lower school, need water filling stations. The upper school needs longer sink faucets in the bathrooms. 136 needs an auditorium upgrade. They need new classroom doors that are more modern. Upgrade, and they need an upgrade to student closets in the bathrooms.
It was synced to her.
Oh, it was synced to her thing. Oh, okay, we had an echo because your, if you could lower the volume on your thing so that it's muted, then we won't have the echo. Okay, where was I? Okay, 136, upgraded student closets in the classroom. Also at 136, main entrance reno. It's a school safety area and they would like to create a more modern and spacious spot. 154, they need playground equipment. 261 wants to refurbish its turf. They also need a new sign because they changed their school name last year. They also need a covered outdoor instructional area in place of the TCUs. And 261 also needs to convert water fountains to more updated fountains that double as a refilling water bottle station. 295 needs to repair multiple broken doors. They also need to repair a leaking water fountain on the ground floor and first floor. 295 needs to repair their inoperable phone systems in 2 classrooms that have inoperable phone systems. 295 needs an alarm in the exterior door that leads to the school playground. 295 needs to replace the AC in the library and auditorium. 295 also needs to repair and replace auditorium projector. 497, second floor bathrooms. Boys and staff need adult-sized toilets that work. Oh, boy. Also, 497, replace 10 air conditioners. Also at 497, auditorium upgrade, new curtains, lights, and sound system. They were impacted by leaking. MS 839 has cracked windows, leaks and stains in the AP office. 839 needs to replace smart boards. PS 958 needs age-appropriate ADA compliant playground equipment. District 75, School 721 would like a rooftop playground. K464, which is, it's a high school in John Jay. I can't remember. I think it's collegiate.
Yes.
Collegiate,
Mhm.
okay. They need AC in their common areas, gym, auditorium, and cafeteria. Okay, so now we're at the point in the list where we have these late entries, and these late entries were not reviewed by Carmine. So we could add them to our top 5. District 75, School 372, needs upgrades to the science rooms, upgrade to our cafeteria tables, upgrade to single stall bathrooms that are old. Pre-K 280 needs to remediate long-term classroom flooding. They also want to replace flood damaged carpet, and they need a complete electrical upgrade. I guess they began one 7 years ago and it never was completed. The pre-K 280 that's on 19th Street needs air conditioning in their STEM classroom and ceramics room because there's no windows in that room. They also need an auditorium upgrade. They also need a gymnasium bleacher replacement, and they need AC in the gym. 130 has exterior doors that don't properly close. They need to be pulled. There are ceiling tiles in the cafeteria that continue to fall down and pose hazards to staff. Tiles around radiators are corroded from years of water damage, and they're looking for funding for smart boards in the library and other classrooms. So,
Can I ask a
yeah,
question?
if I'm not sure I can answer it, but
When I went to PS 124, they have a lot of children who need some sort of assistance. They have children in wheelchairs. They have some sort of like physical, limitations, and that a lot of them want to go to Dewey, and that they said Dewey, that they need an elevator there, and I don't see it on here for Dewey. Dewey is 136, right?
wait, Dewey wants the elevator?
Well,
or
yes, and they were
okay.
like, but I don't see
Yeah.
it on here.
Because, so in the past, I know we have asked for an elevator at Dewey. We can ask again. It's one of those things
So
that they're
here's what
like, we're not gonna prioritize this project at this time.
So here's what she said, is she said that there's all these children that are in the neighborhood that want to go to this school because it's all their friends are going to the school and they can't go to this school because they have physical limitations. And so they're sent to a school where they have to like take a bus and go like somewhere far away. And she said that there's that by 136 not having a school, it is putting restrictions on the children who actually really need to go there, because it's like harder, it's easier for their parents to get them to that school. It's harder for their parents to send them to a school further away. So it's a big, in the community, it's a huge issue. So I just wanted
Right.
to like,
Well, we can certainly add that. This is 136, MS 136 elevator. Maybe, let's see. I can't put them in the top 5, I don't want to put them in the document as a top 5, so maybe I will move down to the bottom of the list here, and I will create a separate called CEC 15 preliminary priorities.
Can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously my first time and many people's first time
Mhm.
going through this, and as we go through this list,
Mhm.
they don't seem like optional things that, oh, let's do it if we can. Most of these are quite alarming.
Yeah.
And so
Welcome to the CEC.
so I mean, one, it's impossible to rank a top 5, and then, you know,
Yep.
what can we do to advocate for most of this list to actually be addressed and taken care
Well,
of?
that's why we submit all of it.
Right.
We submit all of it. The game that we play with the SCA is they let us rank 5,
Right.
but we submit all of it. And then we also submit the list to DSF.
Right.
And we submit to the council members and to the borough president. You know, I send them a letter saying, please consider prioritizing whatever you can on this list.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just quite alarming.
But
Yeah,
also
I mean-
we looked at this list from last year, right? And there was a column that had their comments, and they all said no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it also feels very futile to
Yeah,
rank
right.
a top 5, because you're like, this is gonna, no matter where you put it on the list.
It doesn't seem to, right. Yeah, you're right. It
Yeah.
feels like
it's
like an unnecessary dance.
Is there money? Like, is there money in the budget from the DOE to actually cover maintenance costs? and
Well, yeah,
everything?
DSF
So-
is like these things like the water damage and like Division of School Facilities needs to address all those things. And Carmine did want to be here to talk about some of these things, because in his notes, he was like, let's talk about this, let's talk about this. And we can still have him come in. We could do like this again with Carmine at the next meeting. That probably not the next meeting, but the next business meeting or something. To highlight the things that we would like him to repair.
I think it'd just be like interesting to know sort of behind the curtain what rubric they use to determine how they like rank.
It's level 5 and 6.
Right.
They determine things, like SCA looks at it and they're like, is this a huge safety issue? And that's part of
Like
how
that
they-
help us in our rank. Like, I'm not convinced our ranking matters.
I know.
But if our ranking does, like, it'd be helpful to know if it does, and if it does, it'd be helpful to like do it aligned with a system that you know is going to appear at the top of their system too, and not.
I
like-
wish I had, I have not in my 7 years been able to figure out the rhyme or reason
I'm
for
sure
like.
that a playground green roof combo is not.
I will tell you, I would not prioritize that, because what I've always been told is buildings have to be built from the get-go.
But also, there's like safety concerns.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not have mold and sorts of mold.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. But you also have to be careful, like, what's the size of the project? And if the size of the project is too small for the SCA, they won't take it. It has to go to DSF.
So how do we hold DSF accountable?
We bring them to a meeting and say.
But how do we know that it's like a small, because like.
I know.
There
was
some
like
of the,
there is like a number. There was a number amount that they had to be over, like it had to be over, it, I'm gonna say this and I might be wrong, but I have a recollection that it had to be over $500,000.
I mean, if there's like a pooling issue on the playgrounds and stuff like that, that's like a drainage thing. They have to,
Right.
it was like, at 24, it was done and done wrong. And so it created another problem that they have to now come in and like fix. I don't know.
Okay.
They're all so important.
Yep.
It's hard to like.
It is, it's very hard to prioritize. I agree.
So can we have after we have Carmine come in to talk about top 5, however we come up with that, can we have the DSF rep
Absolutely.
come in to hold them to account?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And just remind me to
Okay.
do that, like put it in the agenda and I'll just,
Yeah.
I'll flag Carmine. He's very open to it. He would have been here last week,
Yeah.
but.
Maybe have them come back once every 3 months to be like, I'm serious.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I mean,
could.
these are,
You could.
I feel like these are really
So
important issues. and
where
if-
are we
Yeah.
on the flooding issue? Yep. All right. Are there any others that you would want to move into a preliminary priority list? So that like, because we don't want to take forever to vote on this.
I think that like in thinking about the goals that we had set as a CEC in the beginning, then to me, the things that would rise to the top of priority list are things that make buildings more accessible
Okay.
and
Yes.
safe.
Safe,
Okay.
accessible, and
I
safe.
agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Not to say that anything outside of that is not. an amazing
Okay,
use of
so let me look at the top of the list.
time.
So, the first thing that comes up, so in terms of safety, the gates could be interpreted as a safety issue.
But I think
That's
you
true.
need- but you also need more context on like,
More
is there
is-
not a way to lock? Like, are you looking for like a better
Okay.
way to
Yeah.
lock it? Or is there not,
Yeah.
it's the same with like the electrical upgrade, like, is it because it's like,
Malfunctioning.
right, is it dangerous? Or is it like, this would be really great if we,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Right,
It's just, like,
okay,
more
all right.
context.
What do you think about the
Yeah.
exterior waterproofing for 124?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You would think.
I don't think DSF can do exterior, I don't know, but I don't know if DSF just does in work inside. I don't know if DSF
if
starts
they're
doing masonry and roofing.
Oh.
Yeah. For me, like of all the schools I visited, the one thing that tops of the top of my list was PS 130's lower school. The bathroom issue is that like the school
Okay.
is overcrowded and there just aren't stalls
Okay,
for.
let me
So that was the number.
40
It was
or for no.
No, the
12.
one line 12.
Oh, line 12. Okay.
Um,
I'm looking at the
So
wrong thing. Okay.
kids are having to go to different floors to use the bathroom because like currently, it's like one stall and a bunch of urinals and that's it. And then the sinks are so high that the little kids can't reach them. And
Okay.
so essentially just converting it to a bunch of stalls so that it's accessible to and more inclusive of all students and students don't have to go up and down stairs to be able to use a bathroom.
Okay, right, okay.
It's a little crazy, but what happens is that most of these buildings, what I see, they were not designed to be schools.
Yeah,
Like now, now
mhm.
school, they do one school and the way it's supposed to be,
right.
Yeah.
so I think they should build new schools.
Well,
That would be
then,
great.
they.
Tear them down, build them back up.
Well. Pretty important because that's a security issue.
Yeah.
Okay, which one? Which one? Line 52. So line 52 is something that DSF can handle. That's not
So,
SCA.
In terms of
Right.
scale, broken
It's
doors
scale.
is DSF because it's smaller scale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's not
DSF
like
needs
that.
to
You don't want kids
handle
to run
that. This ADA compliant entrance at 6:56. Any thoughts about that?
What was that? Which one is
ADA
this?
compliant entrance at 6:56 High School of the Arts.
Oh.
I know that that building is problematic for, yeah,
Mhm.
yes.
You could get in.
Well, you
With
know,
an
you
ADA
know.
Yeah.
compliant,
You
get in,
know.
And then what do you do?
Yeah,
It is-
exactly.
Yes.
And 447 also
Four-
has an
Same
ADA.
building.
Yeah.
Or is it, oh, it's the same building,
Yeah.
sorry.
440,
Thank you
right,
for
okay,
pointing
well,
that
we
out.
should put them, but we have to put them, oh,
Well, they have different entrances.
they have different
right?
entrances, so we'd
Yeah.
have to put them both, yeah.
But if you're doing the building, What?
What line
If
is
you,
that?
if you could get one for the
On the back.
building,
which one would it be?
people
63
who need an ADA compliant entrance could go
is
They
958.
could go through, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So you're pointing to line 63,
Or they should
which
have,
is
like one entrance.
958, the age
Only one
appropriate
main
ADA
entrance,
compliant
okay.
playground equipment. So what Carmine said about that was that should get some ResOA funding, and he steered me away from SCA on that.
So that's borough president
Or city council.
Some of these that were that go under the DSF and
I
the
mean, we could disagree with them.
Reso A.
We could disagree.
I
You
think there's some
disagree?
in here that should be moved up. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
well-
if you're
There are some
talking
that
about
are
making.
All right, so I'll move the thing, what was it
But
again?
maybe they have more context, like I feel like there are some on the
Mhm.
bottom that say the same thing as ones on the top, but
Mhm.
maybe there's just more context we don't know. So if there's
Mm.
something that says it needs an AC on the bottom, that's not, part of the approved list, maybe it's because it's a smaller space, but the one on the top is like a bigger central layer, who knows, but
Mm-hmm.
very hard to.
And which were you referring to, Leslie, that you wanted to?
I mean, I think that. Well, there was one in here, where was it? There's another ADA. 24, having ADA compliant bathrooms.
What, 24?
Mm-hmm.
24. ADA, okay, I got it. Let me just cut and paste that.
I mean, somebody has a Wi-Fi upgrade, I would say put that down further.
Put that,
I mean,
do not add that?
Well, I mean, no, the 295 has Wi-Fi upgrade.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying
But
add
they're
that or no?
Well, I don't
Prioritize
know,
that or
if
not?
they have if they have priority air conditioning in the cafeteria, then some of these that need ACs, they should be moved up there also.
So we're only prioritizing 5. The rest of these we're not gonna rank them in any order.
Okay.
They're just gonna all go to them, and the SCA will do what they want. I want to revisit some of these, the ceiling tiles at 130 in the cafeteria. I don't know how big of a project it is to replace a ceiling. Is that hundreds of thousands of dollars? I don't really know.
I also wonder about some schools that might be 124, 15, some schools that might be in higher
Uh-huh.
need neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of support they have from PTAs. I know there's some schools that seem like they have might have access to more support from their PTAs or fundraisers or something like that. That might also be something to consider.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am, so all the things for K 372, the new boiler, the upgrade to the drainage areas, the stormophilia damage, all that I find like super disturbing. And I would want to highlight that stuff.
Okay, here's the problem with with the 372 is
Okay.
that I think
Oh,
that
are
they're
you-
considered the D75, and so I think they actually have to, we actually need to direct them to,
Oh, we just need to direct it to.
I think that we have to direct it to District 75.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
complicated
So we
because
shouldn't put them on.
They're, well, see, we didn't know, because that's one of the school, I'm a liaison for them as, because they're in District 15, but then they are not necessarily recognized as District 15.
Right,
This is all that we
right,
like learned
Right.
recently.
So
And we were told to put this
right,
on
put it
here,
on
but we
here.
also have to put it on District D75. And then I was also told that they can try to put it on 13, because 13, they also have a school in District 13. It's a complicated.
So can we rank? We could rank
Sure.
that.
I think
I mean,
that we
like-
could rank it.
It's just additional advocacy is what I view it as.
They, in my opinion, there are a school that does need, they're sort of
I mean, they need a
overlooked
new
in some ways.
boiler.
They need a new boiler, but they were also told that their safety school was across the Gowanus, and I was like, one of our biggest issues now is flooding, and how are you gonna get across the Gowanus? We were like,
Yeah.
there's a
And they were severely impacted by
Mhm.
the storm.
Yeah.
So I kind of want, I don't, I want them to be in the running. I just want them to be in the running, in the conversation.
Mhm.
Where is it? Where is the drainage issues? I have a lot of trouble working in spreadsheets. The stuff with 372 also, I believe Carmine wanted to have a conversation about it too, but he's not here. And anything anybody else wants to add to our sort of preliminary?
I mean, I don't know if this is a big enough, but 676, the bathrooms in the gymnasium that are overflowing with sewage.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
think that's,
significant.
Yeah. What number line?
that is 38.
That's something though that DSF needs to immediately address.
Yeah.
Like it's not a major like $500,000 project
Yeah.
for SCA. That's something
Okay.
that needs to be done
Now.
like
Yeah.
now.
Yesterday.
That's not.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right, so we've got a short preliminary list of, it looks like,
What is 130?
10, we've got 10 on a list. I'm sorry, what?
I'm just thinking, never mind.
We've got about 10 or so on here, and we can have this conversation again.
Can we flag also immediate DSF needs, like
Mhm.
the sewage, and so that way we can, knowing that we're not gonna put that as a top 5, but that we want to have DSF be accountable for doing it now. Can we start creating that list and reach out to DSF as soon as possible?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go through all this and make a secondary DSF, that would be very helpful and wonderful. So that would be great. All right, so it is 8:30. Let me go back to our agenda. We cannot vote on this. We did have some resolutions on the table that were just resolutions we need to read for ourselves. We're not voting, we can't vote. I do have somebody on the call, possibly. I don't know. Elaine's still here. Okay, so the first resolution that we have, I'll just quickly let Lainey join us for a brief conversation about it. Lainey, do you want to just sort of briefly talk about your resolution?
Sure.
I need
As
to
ma-
figure how to, hold on, I need to figure out how I can, oh, this is how I can hear you. Okay. Speak so I can tell if I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, great. So as many of you know, probably in June 2022, a bill passed the legislature that requires New York City to be lowering class size in all grades, in all classes, to be phased in over 5 years. The governor passed the bill, signed the bill into law in September 2022, giving the DOE an extra year, essentially 6 years, to phase in the smaller classes. Because of enrollment decline, we've made the 20% benchmark for this year, but it's very unlikely that we will make the 40% and then the 60% and 80% and the 100% over the next 4 years without some changes in budgeting and the capital plan. Instead of making positive changes in that direction, however, the mayor, as you know, continues to cut the education budget and has cut the capital plan by $2 billion for new capacity, the new proposed 5-year capital plan, and has cut thousands of seats as well. And 77% of the seats are completely unspecified as to district and grade level. And the SCA says they will never reveal from now on in the capital plan where they intend to build schools until they've acquired the site and the school is already in design, which we believe violates 2 specific laws, the one that set up the SCA and the class size law. And I think I quote from those laws in the resolution. If not, we also have a PowerPoint that we can give the post online and send you the link that has quotes from the laws. But in any case, we're definitely moving in the wrong direction. Class sizes have increased the last 2 years citywide, and I'm pretty sure in District 15 as well. And we have the specific data in the resolution. So if you look at it, that's what the data says. We want that to be reversed. Now, also, the DOE appointed a class size working group last spring, and I was one of the members of the working group. And we put out a report last month in December, which we think has a lot of actionable, effective, and in some ways very affordable recommendations on how the city could be actually putting forward a real plan and making real changes to start lowering class size. So we've been asking various CECs to pass resolutions in support of the in terms of urging the DOE to start putting together a real plan and to adopt the recommendations of the class size working group. I can put the entire link to the working group report, if you don't have it, into the chat. Can't remember if it's in the resolution or not. I think it is, but I'm not sure. Antonia, you can tell me. And happy to answer any questions that you have about it. We have a number of recommendations, one of which is the most controversial. I will mention it off the top, which is adjusting enrollment at schools when some schools are way overutilized and when other schools are underutilized, which we think will benefit both sets of schools. The very overcrowded schools, giving them the ability to lower class size and having lunch and gym at reasonable times. The very underutilized schools, because many of those schools currently do not have sufficient budgets to really provide sustainable and adequate programs and services at their schools. And in fact, we quoted in the class size working group this quote from Deputy Chancellor Weisberg, who at the Brooklyn Town Hall meeting in October 12th, the 5th grade student, pretty sure she was from District 15, pointed out how unfair it was that some schools have many more students than others, and those who lack students were forced to cut their budgets and lose teachers as a result. And Weisberg said, quote, "This is the reality. Students equal dollars. That's not the way we like to think of it, but that's the economic reality. You can't afford PSAL. You can't afford enrichment, debate clubs, etc. We've got too many schools that have gotten below critical mass." So that's one of the recommendations in our report, is to, when they're nearby schools, try to adjust enrollment. We also put in, though, that no kid should be forced to attend a school that is more than half an hour away by walking. In elementary school, more than half an hour away. I think it was in middle school by public transport, and an hour away by public transport in high school, because even though many kids do attend schools much further away now, we don't want to force kids to be bused long distances from their homes, because we think it's a really good principle to have kids be able to attend schools closer to home, especially kids who need that connection with their schools, and it allows parents to be more connected as well. So, but I was just at a CEC3 meeting, and full disclosure, a lot of those parents were very, very aggressively against this, because they said there is one school apparently that they all want to send their kids to, and they don't want enrollment capped at that one school. And though I tried to make the case that what we really want is all schools to be good schools, that every parent should want their kid to attend, and one way of making sure that all schools are better schools is to lower class size. I'm not sure I convinced those members of the CEC, so I'm not sure whether they're going to approve the resolution or not. But we have a number of CECs who've already approved the resolution. We have more to come. We think we'll have at least 10 in the next few weeks. And PEP members say that once we get a certain number, they will actually present a resolution to the PEP, which will be unprecedented or very, very rare. I think they had one resolution before ever. And though we don't expect it to pass, we do need that kind of pressure on the DOE to get moving and start putting together a real plan to get this accomplished, because the longer they wait, the harder it's going to be, and the more disruptive the changes will be in the out years. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I think we also have a PowerPoint which we can present at your next meeting if you're interested.
Thank you, Lainey. So yeah, it took District 15 a very long time to get away from the good school, bad school narrative, and to accept the fact that all of our schools in District 15 are great schools. It takes a lot of work to do that. So we are over time, and I thank you so much for sticking around to the end to give us a brief synopsis of this resolution. Do any of the council members have any questions for Lainey?
Can we get digital access? So when I click on it, we don't have
Oh,
access.
yeah. But do you have any questions for Lainey? Not right now. So we're going to obviously table all these resolutions till the next meeting. And if Lainey, if you are able to join us, great. I don't know if we'll have time for a PowerPoint at that meeting, because we also have an important presentation. SCA is going to be there, I think. SCA is going to be at that meeting.
Yeah, I hope you ask them questions. I will post the PowerPoint that we've already made, so you can take a look at it before your meeting. But it's really critical that the SCA has to provide more transparency and more funding for new construction, because we're just not going to make it without that. And they've just been so irresponsible over the last few years. With the permission of the DOE, it's ultimately the DOE's fault, but the SCA has just really been a rogue agency in so many ways. So we will post the PowerPoint with all the data, and send Antonia the link so you can take a look at it, whether or not you have time for it during the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
so much.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
So I am going to table all these resolutions till the next meeting. We're 10 minutes over, and I'm going to ask you if I can make a motion to adjourn at 8:41. Can I get a second? Okay, wonderful. Okay, we have adjourned the meeting. All right, so let's close this out. Let's stop recording.